It was the last week of July, and time for my family's yearly week-long vacation to some grand home in one of the smaller cities within our state. This year, my dad's salary had served him well, and decided to book us a huge old mansion where a wealthy family used to live. We made our way down the highway and turned at the exit sign. As we drove down the main drag of the town, it seemed like there had not been any economic development here since the 50s. Nothing but no-name diners and gas stations connected as one-stop shops for travelers and truckers making a stop on their way to a more known location. We pulled up in front of the old house, and we realized me and my dad were going to have to hop out and move the old creaking gate manually to drive in. As we started unloading our bags, we stared down the long hallway, having no clue what lurked within this grand home. We settled in, all picking our rooms to unpack, and met downstairs to play some of the board games off the antique bookshelf. As we started, we noticed my little sister Jamie giggling to herself and talking to the wall. Her being 12, we thought she was a little too old to have any imaginary friends, and as we approached her, she snapped at us, saying we're interrupting Mr. Smith. After this odd occurrence, I decided to do some research, finding out Mr. Smith was the wealthy man who owned this home. It was reported the house drove him insane, making him start claiming there were voices in the wall, leading his family to leave him, until he himself eventually disappeared, never to be found. As I went to tell my parents this shocking information, they were already in a frenzy, unable to find Jamie. That's when I saw her, or at least what was left of her. Her little shadow on the wall, right alongside the one I thought was far too large for her when she was talking. To this day, my parents still have posters up all around our state and spend every waking hour looking for her. I don't have the courage to tell them the sinister truth. My group of friends and I had just graduated from college and decided to celebrate with a tropical vacation. We flew almost halfway across the world and hopped on a ship to our fancy resort. The first morning of our trip, we decided to take one of the tourist hikes guided by the locals. As we made our way into the forest, swatting bugs and slashing vines, our tourist claimed he had to take a moment to himself. We waited about 10 minutes without his return, until we started to panic, looking for him, but he was nowhere to be found. We searched for hours until we finally came across what seemed like a pyramid in the middle of the jungle. We walked toward it, hoping we could find any sense of direction, and as we got closer, we noticed a shine and glimmer coming from inside. As we entered, we were met with a pirate's dream. Gold, silver, pearls, enough to retire all of us before our careers even started. We all dove in, swimming through like we were in a dream, until it ended. The pyramid disappeared along with all the treasure, and we realized we were swimming in quicksand. At this moment, we heard high-pitched, giddy whispers and giggles coming from the surrounding trees. "Choose one!" A monstrous roar yelled from the jungle. "Anyone but me!" my friend Carl cowardly yelled, and instantly him, along with the quicksand, disappeared as the voice again screamed, "All leave now, or meet the same fate!" The tree line cleared, giving us a perfect beeline back to the beach, and we all ran through, hearing those whispers and giggles, until we hopped back on the first ship to the main city. My parents and I booked a cabin for spring break in a remote area to escape society for a while and allow my dad to peacefully create a hypothesis for his next experiment. As we arrived at the cabin, it was much more run down than the three of us expected, but it would serve us well for our peaceful vacation. As we entered, my mother complained of hearing creaking noises coming from all sides of the home, and as the first couple days went by, her paranoia only grew worse. She claimed to hear an old, creepy male voice whispering her name and doors closing behind her, doorknobs not turning, locking her in rooms. My father told her he was too busy working for her craziness and told her to just double her dose of medication. I took her more seriously and decided to do some research, walking to the gas station down the road, describing our cabin to the elderly woman working at the till. As her eyes widened and jaw dropped, she said to me with her voice shaking, "Sweetie, old Hermit Carl's cabin burned down a decade ago." I ran back through the woods, making my way back, relieved to find it still standing. As I opened the door, I smelled smoke and could feel the heat on my face. I heard my father's disheveled voice trying to scream through something covering his mouth. I ran to his room and saw him tied to a chair. I quickly retrieved my trusty pocket knife and cut him free. We made our way to the kitchen, coughing and throwing smoke, seeing my mom and the old hermit man with surreal smiles on their faces, waving to us as they slowly burnt, not seeming to feel anything. My dad tried to pull my mom and get her out of there, but she was immovable, her feet having burnt into one with the floor, sticking like clay. We just made it out on time and watched the house burn to ashes with tears in our eyes.